long ago, in a village, and this is happening in the year 1456, in a village called Tumku. All the men of that village were very, very ugly. Every single person in that village was ugly. And now they were wondering, why are we ugly? And now the villagers, because of their ugliness, no woman wanted to marry them. All their women refused to marry the men of that village. The women went to marry men from other villages. Why? The men were ugly. So the women decided, if we continue marrying these ugly men, we'll keep on giving birth to ugly children. Why? These are ugly men. We are not too beautiful. We marry ugly men. Ugly marry ugly. Ugly give birth to ugly. So the women of the village refused to marry them. So these men, they hated themselves. They were depressed because they were ugly. They had ears like trumpets. They were green. Very, very ugly people. So one of them discovered that, you know what? I know I'm ugly, but I have to leave my people and look for a village where I'll be accepted as an ugly person I am. He started journeying, traveling from place to place, seeking an ugly lady to marry him. And he finally made it to a land filled with countless ugly women. And it was like paradise for him. All the ugly women were rushing him because he was the most beautiful man they've ever seen. Why? The men of that village were more ugly than him. So when he came there, all the women saw him. He looked handsome to them. And he was the ugliest in his own village. Now he came to this village of these ladies, and they saw him so beautiful, and they thought he was the most beautiful thing they've ever seen. Why? He was more beautiful than the ugliest man in their village. And he thought, this is paradise. For the first time in my life that I've been accepted for who I am. And he went back to his village and called all the ugly men. And they came to this village and they married those women and gave birth to ugly children. And that's the end of my story. What's the moral lesson of the story? Don't marry an ugly person if you're ugly. Look for somebody else that is a little bit finer than you and marry that person. Else, you get to produce ugly children. Ugliness will never end. So you have to find a way to end it. If your father was ugly, your mother was ugly, that's why you're ugly. So you now, ugly, have to marry beauty. And when ugly meets beauty, the ugliness will end. What does this simply mean? It simply means never make a mistake in a marriage. This story is not actually talking about ugliness, although it sounds like that. But the deep moral lesson and principle is be careful. For who you marry has a way to affect the kids you give birth to, even though not just physically, mentally. If you look at a lady or you look at a man, do you like your son or your daughter to behave like that lady? Do you want your daughters to behave like that woman you are following, or you want to get married to, or you are doing girlfriend with? If you like your girl children to be like that, then follow that person. If you like your male children to be like that man, then follow that man. That is the moral of the story. It's not talking about ugliness. Some of you thought I was talking about physical ugliness. Look, nobody did anything to be born the way they were. Some people are born like this, some people are born like that. Small nose, big forehead, small forehead, big chin, no chin, bald head, this. Nobody chose the way they were born. Everybody was born in his own way. But you see the thing in here, people choose. Either they have maggots there or they have some brain. So be careful. If you marry somebody with maggot brain, you could give birth to children with maggot brain, because what will that woman or that man teach them? So look at that man, look at that woman, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the fiancé, the fiancée. Look at all of them with a careful eye and check. If you would like your male boys to be like that man, go ahead. And if you would like You are female girls to be like that woman. Go ahead. And that is the end of the story. I hope you learned something beautiful beyond the ugliness I was talking about. Thanks for watching. See you next time.